Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, or if you are a new viewer, welcome to the channel. It's that time of the week again. We're getting close to the playoffs. It's another power performance index. Only got I think one or two of these left, and then yeah, that'll be it. And then we will head into the playoffs. So we start out here again. And of course, now they were out of this spot for a little bit, and then they kind of ended up right back in it, and that's Chicago. So the Hawks again are 32. Again, it's wait for the draft lottery for them, and yeah, they're just kind of playing out the string as it is right now. They've lost 5 in a row again, and yeah, they're just kind of playing out the string. Number 31. Now these guys were number 32 until they got a big win. They got a big win today, and I had to move them. I had to move them up that one spot just because looking at what Chicago had been doing. Even though they've only gone 1-8-1 in their last 10 games, they had lost 10 in a row coming into the game today, and that's Boston. So the Bruins, they get out of being number 32, but yeah, they're another one of those teams they're definitely not making the playoffs. They're not going to make the playoffs this year. They go on that 10-game losing streak, and they basically drop to the bottom of the East. And so yeah, they're not going to make it this year, but we'll see what kind of draft position they get, and go from there. Number 30. They drop one spot. They also lost 5 in a row. And again, this is kind of like Chicago, just playing for the draft lottery. San Jose. So the Sharks, of course, some good young talent on the team. A lot of good future to look forward to, I think. And it's very possible they end up getting the number 1 draft pick again this year. It's entirely possible. Will it happen? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Number 29. They also have lost 5 in a row. They're 2-8 in their last 10. And yeah, they drop one spot, and it's been a frustrating season. Been a very frustrating season for Nashville. So Nashville, 29. All these teams really, it's wait for the draft lottery. That's basically all it is. Just wait and see what kind of draft position you're going to get. That's where these bottom 4 teams are waiting right now. And we'll wait and see. But yeah, Nashville, got to think next year is going to be a little better for them. At least you'd hope. Number 28. Dropping 2 spots, and that's Philly. So the Flyers, of course, they're another one of those teams. They're just kind of playing out the string. They're tied with Boston at the bottom of the Eastern Conference, and yeah, they're another one of those teams. I mean, a good chunk of these teams, at least these bottom 5 teams, it's where they end up finishing could determine where they end up in the draft order. And yeah, so in Philly, they fired Tortorella, and we'll see who they get. There's rumors that Rick Tocchet wants to go back, or wants to go coach Philadelphia, because he played there for a long time. But again, that's just rumor and innuendo. Whether or not that happens, I don't know. But Philly's number 28. Number 27, after I drop it, at number 27, they also dropped 2 spots. This team, they looked like they were going to be a playoff team, and then it just fell apart. and that's Detroit. It just all fell apart for them. I mean, they fired the coach. They had that incredible coaching bump when McClellan came in. They were in a wild card spot. It was looking like they were gonna get there. And the crazy thing is it's still not outside the realm of possibility for them to get in, but it's not looking that easy right now. I don't know. I don't think Detroit can. I don't think Detroit's going to end up making it. But crazier things have happened. Number 26. They move up one spot. They went 2-0-1 this week, and that's Pittsburgh. So I mean the Penguins are 26. They, of course, they're not going to make the playoffs either. They're 9 points out of a playoff spot. So I mean, they're not making it. But I mean, they're trying to string some wins together, at least to try to make it look somewhat respectable. And yeah, so yeah, they're number 26. Number 25, dropping 2 spots. And this team, they flirt with 500. They've been flirting with 500 all year, but they can't ever seem to maintain it, and that's Anaheim. So Anaheim is 25, and again they've lost 2 in a row, and they get to 500 and then they fall back. Get to 500, fall back. It's kind of Anaheim's MO this year. Number 25. Or no, not number 25. Anaheim was 25. Number 24. Now, they're showing they can string these little things together. It's just doing it for an entire season is the problem. They've moved up 2 spots. They won all 3 games. They won all their games this week. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They've won 3 in a row. What's like Buffalo? Come on. What is happening here? They have the talent to win these games. They have the. I don't get it. I just don't understand it with Buffalo. The talent is there. They can't seem to put it together. But boy, they seem to put together these good little streaks at the end of the season when it doesn't matter, when they're already too far out of the playoff race. It'd be nice if they could keep this up throughout an entire season. If they could keep that up through an entire season, they'd probably be a playoff team. Number 23, moving up 1 spot. They've won a couple games in a row. And, again, this is they're a team that's kind of playing spoiler. Seattle. So, I mean, the Kraken are 23. And, again, they're a team that's kind of playing spoiler. And, again, it's going to be a wait and see till next year. Excuse me, kind of thing. But Seattle, they're competing. They're trying to put all their stuff together. But again, I think this year was kind of an underachieving year. I think a lot more was expected from the Kraken. Number 22. Now, they dropped 2 spots, and again, they're another one of these teams. I mean, New York Islanders, they're a team that is they're again inconsistencies. They're a team that looks like they could make the playoffs, then they go. They had a chance to solidify their spot in a playoff spot. They were there. They were right there. And then they proceeded to lose 3 in a row. And they've gone 4-4-2 in the last 10. And it just they had a chance. They had a chance. They had a chance to really assert themselves in potentially getting a playoff spot. And they just fell right out of it. Number 21. Now, dropping 7. This was, I think, the biggest drop. They dropped 7 spots, and it's just, I think the expectations caught up to them. Vancouver. The expectations, you cannot have expectations with the Vancouver Canucks. You just can't. You cannot have a team like Vancouver who they look good for a season, and then you get some expectations, and they fall flat on their face. You can't have expectations in Vancouver. And, there's still all kinds of rumors going around. Is Tocchet going to stay? What's Pettersson? Are they still going to try and trade Pettersson even though they just signed him to a long-term contract? Who knows with Vancouver? Who honestly knows with Vancouver? Number 20. Now this team definitely played spoiler tonight. They move up 2 spots. They went 3-1 this week. And that's Utah. So the Utah, whatever their name is going to be, hopefully, like I said, hopefully not hockey club. I really hope they don't keep that name. But Utah, they're another one of those teams where it's not outside the realm of possibility for them to get to the playoffs, but I doubt it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, they're 7 points out, and they've only got, 77, 78, 79, 80. Yeah, 5 games to go. Yeah, Utah's not getting there. Utah is not going to get there, but they're looking good in these games. They're above 500. They're above NHL 500. So that's something to build on. It's something to build on into next season for sure. Number 19. Now this is another team. I really wanted these guys to make the playoffs. I really did, but I think it all kind of faded down the stretch, unfortunately, and that's Columbus. It all faded for them. They were looking decent. They had a good little run going, and then it just fell apart for them. I don't know what exactly happened, but they're 3-6-1 in the last 10, and they just fell off. And but again, hopefully next year they can help build to next year, and yeah, and again, and it's not they still have a shot, but it's a long shot. Number 18. This is a team I have no faith in. No faith whatsoever. Even though they're supposed to get some of their injured guys back, which might help, but and I honestly, with the way that they've been playing, it wouldn't surprise me if they drop out. Minnesota. It will not surprise me. It will not surprise me if they drop out of the playoffs. It won't surprise me at all. Because injuries have just ravaged them this year. It has been just one injury after another. They're supposed to get Kaprizov and Eriksson Ek back, but I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what kind of team they're going to put together on the ice for the playoffs. If they make the playoffs, it's not guaranteed that they'll make the playoffs. Calgary has a game in hand on them. Calgary's only 4 points behind them. Don't think Calgary can't make up that ground because the way the Wild have been playing. But yeah, so the Wild are still, they're like, I think, one of the only playoff teams that's not in the top 2 rows. Number 17. Now, again, the playoff spot is would be there They had it for like a day, and then they kind of kicked them back out. They kicked themselves back out, and that's the Rangers. The Rangers, the talent that they have. What is this year? Definitely was odd for the Rangers. They went from winning the President's Trophy last year to being right now out of the playoffs. They're 4 points behind Montreal, and Montreal is looking fantastic right now. It is looking more and more like Montreal might be the team that gets that second wild card spot. We shall see, but yeah, Montreal is looking really good. Montreal is looking really good. The Rangers are not so much. I haven't got to Montreal yet. Number 16. Now they stay in the same spot, and I just talked about them. I think it won't surprise me if they track Minnesota down. Calgary. So, yes, the Flames are at 16. I have them in the top 2 rows, even though they are not a playoff team right now. The way they're playing fantastic. They're playing fantastic hockey. They're 6-2-2 in the last 10. They lost in overtime tonight, and they're in these games. They're in these games, and trust me, it won't shock me if they catch Minnesota. It wouldn't surprise me. Number 15. Now, boy, what has happened to these guys? They were in first place for a while, and now they've dropped down into third, and that might be where they end up staying. And I don't know what's going on with them right now, but the reigning defending champions, what's going on with the Panthers? They drop all the way to 15. I don't know what's going on with them right now. They're just they get shut out. They get shut out tonight against Ottawa. They vastly outplay Ottawa. They outshoot them badly. They couldn't get a goal. I don't know. I don't know what's happening right now with the Panthers, but again, they're one of those teams. It's like regular season's great, but playoffs is when we shine. We'll have to see if that's the case, because it's looking more and more like it's going to be a battle of Florida in that first round, which that'll be fun. That'll be a lot of fun to see. Number 14, moving up 7. These guys move up 7 spots. They went from a team that looked like, they might not make the playoffs, to a team that, it's looking like they might have solidified that wild card spot in the East. Montreal. So the Habs are at 14, and they're looking good. They're looking really good right now, and they have a 4-point lead in the race for the second wild card spot. They're 4 points ahead of the New York Rangers. They played the same amount of games as the Rangers, and Montreal's. This is. I don't think a lot of people expected this from them this year. I didn't. I didn't think Montreal was going to be in the race for the playoffs, but there they are. They're occupying the number 2 wild card spot right now. Number 13. Now I'm liking what these guys are doing. They ended up with a big win over the champs today, and how nice is it for these guys to? It's looking like they're definitely gonna be in the playoffs. They've got that number 1 wild card spot sewed up pretty good right now, Ottawa. So the Senators, boy, how fun that first round could be. You get the Battle of Florida, and potentially the Battle of Ontario. Boy, that could be fun. A Toronto-Ottawa matchup, that would be a lot of fun. Ottawa's playing great right now. They're putting it together. They're doing fantastic. And would it shock me if they could pull the upset in the first round. If it is Ottawa, Toronto, would it shock me if they could pull the upset and knock out Toronto? Nah, it wouldn't. It wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me at all. But we got a couple weeks. We got a couple weeks to mull over that. Number 12. They move up a spot, and these guys they're kind of frustrating too. And again, they got shut out tonight, and Edmonton is. Well, I don't know. I don't like Edmonton's odds right now. I mean, it's looking like they're going to play the LA Kings again in the playoffs, and it's I don't know. I don't know if they can beat LA this time. I really don't. Because the way the Kings are playing right now, they're playing fantastic, and Edmonton having to go in to LA, who they have the best home record in the league. First 2 games in LA, yeah, that could be hard for the Oilers. But yeah, they're number 12. Number 11. They're making moves. These guys are making some moves. They've won 3 in a row. They're 5-4-1 in the last 10. They moved up 4 spots, and they're looking much better. The Devils. So the Devils are number 11. Again, they're looking much better, much better, and they're getting ready. I think for what is pretty sure going to be the 2-3 matchup in the Metro. Them and Carolina, and that should be a very interesting series. I think that is one series that is probably pretty secure. Is that one? That one I think is a guaranteed matchup. Number 10. They move up a spot, and they've done. And this is a team. They still have a chance to catch first place, but yeah, they only got a point tonight when they really needed 2. Tampa. So Tampa, they only got the 1 point. They got 1 point instead of 2, and they just they lost in a shootout to the Sabres, and it's games like that where you just if you're trying to get first place in a division. Those are games you can't lose, and I mean they got a point out of it, but yeah, they're falling a little further behind in the division. Number 9. Now they dropped 5 spots, even though they're 7-3 in the last 10, and they won tonight in overtime. But it broke up a losing streak. But they're number 9. They only went 1-2 on the week. That's Vegas. So I mean, the Golden Knights are, they're number 9, and they still could. And I say could. I don't think it will happen, but it could. Because the way the Kings are playing right now, the Kings are only 3 points behind Vegas. And so, Vegas has got to be careful. They got to be really careful because it's entirely possible they could get past. And would it surprise me? Nope. There's another team that's going to be in this top row that I honestly think will get past. But we'll get to that. Number 8. They've won 4 in a row. They move up a couple spots. They're 8-1-1 in the last 10. They're actually looking pretty good right now, and they've built up a lead in their division, Toronto. So the Leafs, they have a 4-point lead in the Atlantic Division. Can they hold it? That's the thing. Can they hold it? We shall find out. But yeah, Toronto, Toronto, it's again, they're one of those teams. Great regular season team, but what are you going to do in the playoffs? That's what matters. That's what matters to Toronto fans, is what are they going to do in the playoffs? And a Toronto-Ottawa first-round matchup would be a lot of fun to watch. But yeah, Toronto, they're back in the top row here. Number 7. Speaking of back in the top row, they've moved up 4 spots. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They've won 4 in a row, and now they're right behind. They're right on Vegas's tail. LA. They are right on the tail of the Golden Knights. They're only 3 points behind them, and I mean, you just keep winning the games, keep winning your games, and it's possible. It's possible they catch Vegas. They both have 6 games left, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, LA's got eyes on that first place in the Pacific. Number 6. They stay in the same spot. They won the first two from the week. Then they went on and they've lost 2 in a row. They're still 6-3-1 in their last 10, and that's Carolina. So the Hurricanes are 6. Their first round matchup is pretty set, and it'll be. They can't catch. They're pretty set in second place in the Metropolitan Division, and yeah. So I think Carolina is, they're pretty solid right now, and they've been playing well. I mean, grabbing Mikko Rantanen and then trading Mikko Rantanen, it didn't really seem like it hurt them that much. Number 5, also staying in the same spot. They're 6-3-1 in their last 10. They went 2-1-1 this week. They did lose their last game to a team that is just cooking right now, and that's Colorado. So the Avalanche are 5th, or number 5. It is possible that Landeskog could come back for the playoffs. He's skating. We'll see what happens. He has not played a competitive game in over 2 years. And, we'll have to see. But, I mean, if they're able to get their captain back just in time for a playoff run, yeah, Colorado could be very, very dangerous. Number 4. Now they move up 3 spots. These guys are just humming. I mean, they've exploded into the number 1 wild card. Let me look here. Is there an outside chance? Okay. Them and Colorado, they both played 78 games. Well, it's a long shot, but it's there. It's possible they could catch Colorado. Hello, St. Louis. 12 straight. They've won 12 in a row. They are just humming right now. And I mean, what a time to go on a run. Because they're right now in the number 1 wild card spot, which would mean they would end up playing. Let's see, they would end up playing Vegas for right now. Whether that stays that way, not entirely sure. But yeah, St. Louis is just, they're looking fantastic right now. And yeah, I wouldn't want to see, come playoff time, I don't think I'd want to see them. Number 3. Now, speaking of a team that they had to have seen that the team that is trying to chase them down lost in regulation today. So then what do? You can't be losing to these teams that are out of the playoffs. And Winnipeg decided, yeah, we're still going to let Dallas probably catch and pass us. They go and they get beat by Utah. Now, Utah is good at playing spoiler. But, for Winnipeg, you can't lose that. You can't lose a game like that. I mean, Dallas goes and loses to a Pittsburgh Penguins team, and you're thinking, okay, if Winnipeg can get some points here, because they're only 4 points ahead. They're only 4 points ahead of Dallas. And Dallas still has a game in hand on them. This is why I think Winnipeg, they've led that division all year. At the end of the year, I think they're going to end up in second. I really do. Number 2, moving up one spot, and yeah, they went 2-2 on the week. They're 6-3-1 in the last 10. But one of the main reasons why I'm wearing this is he tied Wayne Gretzky for the all-time goals record, Alex Ovechkin, and the Washington Capitals. The Capitals are number 2. They're looking really good. They're another one of those teams that's like, we'll wait till the playoffs. Playoffs are going to be important. And right now, if the playoffs started right now, they would play Montreal. And boy, who remembers 2010? Oh, I do. Oh boy, do I. That will be a fun series if that ends up being the series. And number one, even though they lost, I'm still keeping them at number 1 for a second week in a row. And yes, I firmly believe they will catch and pass the Winnipeg Jets, the Dallas Stars. Dallas is just the way they are, to me, they're too good right now. Dallas is doing, they're way too good right now. And Winnipeg, they had a chance to take advantage of a Dallas loss. They couldn't do it. Dallas, I'm telling you, I just have that feeling that that Dallas is going to overtake them. Dallas is going to overtake Winnipeg by the end of the year. Winnipeg has, how many games does Winnipeg have left? They have 5 games left. Dallas has 6. And some people would think, God, I don't know if Dallas could make up 4 points in that time. Oh yeah, they can. Dallas just came off winning 7 in a row. So, and Winnipeg is, I mean, these are the two. I mean, to me, they're the two best teams right now, and they're looking like it. I mean, they're the only 2 teams that have won 50 games. And I think Dallas is going to eventually, they're going to catch Winnipeg and they're going to pass them. But, so yeah, that's for this week's Power Performance Index. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. What do you think? Do you think Dallas is going to catch and pass Winnipeg? How many people are there with me thinking that that's going to happen? That Dallas is going to end up winning this division, even though even though Winnipeg has led it basically from start to finish. How many of you think Dallas is going to end up overtaking them by the end of the year? I think it's going to happen. But let me know in the comments, and let me know, what teams you think, I may have in the right spot, the wrong spot, or whichever. Let me know in the comments. So, like this video. Subscribe to the channel. That would be absolutely fantastic. I would love you for that. Hit that little notification bell. That will notify you anytime future videos are uploaded. Also, share the video with everybody that you know. Share the video with everybody that you don't know. And, if you've got friends out there or family that love hockey, tell them about the channel. And yeah, so this week's Power Performance Index. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. I will see you guys later.